Hey, Bully Mascara here, coming to you with my take on what's going on in this country and what the demon rats, the so-called Democrats, have been saying, and nobody says anything to them. Stay tuned. If you don't, stay tuned. I'm going to come and give you a clothesline of truth and facts. Right, Bully Mascara here. I'm really teed off. I don't want to say the other word, but I wish I could say it, but I'm trying to keep this channel clean. Why the demon rats, the Democrats, they say so much BS and they get away with it. If you voted for them, if you voted for these people, you're freaking idiots. That's what you are. You complain and say things about Trump being an idiot. And he did say some things that were really crazy. But you demon rats, you who voted to put these numbskulls into power, into Congress to be your representative, you don't say anything because you agree with them. And if you're on the fence and independent and you let these guys get away with it, then you're just as bad as the demon rats. Rashida Tlaib, this past week, when they shot that kid up in Minnesota, said, abolish the police, stop incarceration. Is this the same woman that was crying in Congress after January the 6th? Is this the same woman that was afraid that she was going to get killed by those nuts that went and attacked the Capitol building? Who the hell did she think was going to protect her? The fairies? The elves? With their magical powers? This is the same woman who's acted like a nut in the past. This is the woman that sits in committees. This is the woman that's getting paid by our tax money to act like an idiot. Yes, she's an idiot. And she's not the only one in Congress. But before I go on, let's show you what she did in the past.
I will say that Bernie Sanders gave her that.
You guys are crazy!
You're an animal! Get a job!
You guys are crazy! You're an animal! Get a job!
Bullies don't win. And I said, baby, they don't. Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the mother.
Rashida! We are all Rashida!
If I can die. Honestly, I've never felt more Palestinian than I ever felt in Congress. Even in Palestine, when I'm visiting my grandmother, I'm more American, like to the Palestinian. But I'm more Palestinian in the halls of Congress than I am anywhere in the country, in the world. And that just tells you just the fact that they weren't ready for us. They really weren't, but we were ready for this.
You see, this is the type of people that are in power. Can you imagine a Republican, a conservative, or a libertarian that was a congressperson act the same way? The left and the media will go ape, you know what I'm trying to say, ape, ape crap. I don't want to say the other word. Like I said, I want to keep this channel clean. But can you imagine the media 24/7 like they did with Trump? Anything he said, they went crazy. And it was over and over and over. I mean, being transmitted over and over, and critiquing, and complaining, and crying. And she's not the only one. the Democrats have gotten some really crazy people in their ranks. Progressive nuts that just keep saying some stupidity all the time. It's just a crazy thing that these people have gotten into the seat of power. It is really crazy that they're saying stupid things and they're getting away with it. And none of you are saying anything. It's just so freaking crazy. So Rashida's not the only crazy person in Congress. We have that other one from the squad. AOC, La Boricua, the New Yorican. Let's see what she said recently about the surge, how she defines it.
They want to say, what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem because this is not a surge. These are children and they are not insurgents and we are not being invaded, which, by the way, is a white supremacist idea, philosophy. The idea that if an other is coming in the population, that this is like an invasion of who we are.
So, if you look at the correct definition of surge, it has nothing to do with what she's trying to point out. You know what, AOC Boricua, you should ask for your money back. You didn't learn anything. You don't even have common sense. Throughout my life, I met a lot of people that got informed and educated, but had no common sense. And they treat everybody like crap that were not on their level of education. And that's what you're treating people like. You're trying to push people to think that they are beneath you when you come out with this definition of surge. And if you think this is the only Democrat besides AOC and Rashida that are crazy, there's some old Democrats still in power that have been there for over 20, 30 years that are just as dumb and want to think that they're the high and mighty. Maxine Waters, that woman is just crazy. That woman is going to be in power to the day she dropped dead. I hope she has a long life. But if I had the money she had, and a bunch of these other demon rats like Pelosi and Schumer, I would have retired and enjoyed my life, travel the world, enjoy my grandchildren. But they don't seem to have a life outside of their districts in the freaking swamp. They are multimillionaires, and yet they continue in Congress. You know why? Because they love the power. People love the power, and they hate giving it up. Let's see what Maxine Waters said this week in Minnesota.
Not just manslaughter, right? I mean...
Oh, no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree murder.
Congresswoman, what happens if we do not get what you just told? What should the people do? What should protesters on the street do?
I didn't hear you.
What happens?
What should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This woman is basically saying to continue rioting, to use violence. Maxine Waters should be reprimanded and called on the carpet. If it was me, I'd have her impeached and removed from Congress. But you think This is the only Congress person that says some stupidity? Listen to this.
In my hand, I wish I had it. It is as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving. And the bullet that is utilized, a 50 caliber, these kinds of bullets, need to be licensed and do not need to be on the streets.
A Congresswoman from Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee, said that an AR-15 weighs as much as 10 boxes of what? And then it shoots 50 caliber? You know, if you don't know anything about guns, then you probably believe her. An AR-15 doesn't weigh no more than 10 pounds. Probably a little bit more if you put a lot of accessories on them. But 10 boxes? Oh boy, can you imagine a military man carrying the military version of the AR-15, which is the M15 and the M4, carrying 10 boxes of whatever she said? Look it up, folks. Look it up for yourself. And watch this bright bulb, or I would say dim bulb, of a congressman from Georgia.
I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
And also things like the environment, the sensitive areas of the environment, coral reefs and those kinds of things. And I know that, you know, lots of people don't like to think about that, but, you know, we didn't think about global warming either. And now we do have to think about it. And so I'm concerned from an environmental standpoint whether or not Guam is the best place to do this relocation, but it's actually the only place. Is that correct?
This is the best place. This is the farthest west U.S. territory that we own. And, you know, this is part of our nation. And in readdressing the forward presence and posture importance to Pacific Command, Guam is vital to this decision.
Oh my God, this is a congressman. Oh, you know, I laughed many years ago when this happened, but this guy's still in Congress. The island of Guam will tip over. Oh my God, if this is what the people in a certain district in Georgia has to depend on, you're in, oh Lord, you're in big trouble. This guy actually believed that if you overpopulated the island of Guam, it would tip over. This guy actually believes that islands are like a cone, an ice cream cone, that if you put a little bit too many sprinkles on the top, it will tip over. Oh my Lord. This guy knows nothing about geography. And this is what you have to deal with, people. Congress is full of a lot of idiots, maybe educated idiots, useful idiots, being used by the far left and the communists and the socialists. You know, it's just crazy. So there you have it, folks. My take on a lot of what's going on with some of these demo rats, demo craps. listen, if you voted for them, and if you truly believe in doing the right thing, call them on the carpet. Vote them out. Put people there that really want to do a job. It's up to you. All right. That's it. No more closed lines of truth. No more slamming on the mat when it comes to opinions. This is Bully Mascot. If you like what I said, and if you don't, that's okay. But if you're here, you must like me. I'm doing a Harris thing. I'm still thinking about that stupidity that Congressman Johnson said about Guam tipping over. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell so you can get more notifications on my video. Hasta la vista, baby.